Garry MacLean, and this is the inaugural episode for my new talk show. And for my first guest, I would like to introduce Chengis Javeri.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you. So your first guest.
Yes.
Why do you look so tired?
I don't sleep
No,
well.
it's all right.
I don't sleep much at all.
That's good. That's good. So, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on fitting into that shirt. And
yes, it was a struggle.
I get it. We're in the same. We're really in the same boat. I want to describe how to pronounce my name because it is a little weird.
Oh.
Right? Chengis. It's a little difficult for people. So to be able to pronounce it properly, what you have to do is you have to listen to what I say, and then just repeat it. Thank you.
Okay. So
what's up?
Please do that again. Say your name.
Chengis.
Chengis.
Yeah, a little sexy though. By the way, it's a wonderful table. What is this?
Yes, solid mahogany is what this is.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I like what you've done with the place.
Yes, well, it is fantastic, I must say.
So are we here
great view.
Ah,
yeah.
It's a great view.
Great view. So just so everybody else knows, Chengis is a fantastic actor who seems to be in absolutely everything in Calgary.
I mean, there's a percentage, and it's probably 44%, to be fair.
That you're not in?
Things. No, no, that I'm in. So you sent out a sort of a email thing, right? A preamble. Hey, we'd like to do things in this order. And I think one of the things you wanted to know was what was maybe your first project?
Yes.
I feel like I'm sitting in the wrong chair.
Well, this is called the self-interview show.
Gotcha.
So you ask yourself the question and then you answer. I'm just here for looks. So please.
First of all, hold up your end. And secondly, no, you're delicious. You are delicious. If it's taking everything in my person not to like hug you all the time. But I understand the first thing is you'd come at me with the ring aggressively in the form of a fist.
Well, there would be that, but there would also, my wife would be like close behind going, "Get your hands off that man."
Is that what she said?
She sounds exactly like that.
I gotta meet this woman, man. Anyway, so you were asking my first project? Yeah, let me tell you about
Yes.
first. So a little film called Ararat. It's Adam McGoyan. He used to be very famous as a director here. It was David Cronenberg, Adam McGoyan, Sarah Polley, and then like one other guy. These were our Canadian directors. So I played a Turkish soldier in that. I am wearing the correct socks though to be interviewed. Look at those things. So that's all you get is a little peek. I played a Turkish soldier, and we shot our part in Drumheller. Half the film was shot with Christopher Plummer. So I'm a Turkish soldier, and I think over 2 weeks I worked like 10 days for them. And there were 10 of us who wore real uniforms, wool, carried real guns, a 30-plus pound pack, and I lost 5 pounds every single day. It was in the summer, working. No matter how much you ate, no matter how much you drank, you lost 5 pounds every single day of work. And then one day, they had a bunch of extras, and they were just like villagers and stuff. And a weird thing happened, and there was about 150 of them that day. A weird thing happened was, I don't know if the thing wasn't that organized, but the extras looked to us soldiers for their cues. They're like, can we go for lunch now? I'm like, I'm literally just working here like you are, but carrying heavier things. And it's also when I learned that I could say no. It's like on the first thing, I'm just basically a glorified extra, maybe silent on camera. And there's one scene where I have to shoot a bunch of Armenians.
Okay.
They weren't really Armenians. Some were, but I didn't hold that against them. And it was just a family laying in a ditch next to a little river, and there was like an old man who looked like Santa, and then like a mom and a dad, and then a little baby. And the little baby was animatronic, or it was just a doll thing. Animatronic might not be the right word. I used it to sound cool for a second. It might have just been
an actual like Cabbage Patch type thing.
Yeah, it might have been Cabbage Patch, but it was made by the guys who made Hellboy's Hand, and they made the Blades. So I was going through, and I was meant to be a regular soldier, right? And I could shoot the people, and I actually stabbed a man who looked like Santa, very cathartic, because Santa didn't come to my house for the first 18 years of my life. But anyway, But when we got to the baby, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot the baby. I'm not shooting the baby. And then there was another guy like me, another silent on camera guy, but he was meant to be higher up than me. And he's like, I just point at it. The director said, I'll just point at it and you shoot the baby. And I'm like, I'm not shooting that baby. And I made him get in my face. I made him tell me, wait to be fired, tell me again. And then when I shot, I turned my head and closed my eyes and I shot. And I realized, okay, so I'm nobody. That's Adam Agoyan. But you can still bring a little, do you know what I mean? Of yourself.
Right.
Just a little bit of yourself. Because I thought actually the film was a little bit racist against Turks.
So, have you lived in Calgary your whole life? Because I know your parents are not from Calgary.
Well, no, they are here now in actually a little box in my basement. But I'm not going to talk about that because it's a bit of a downer. No, I'm not from here. Why are you smiling? I just said I burned my dead parents. And this guy, oh, man. All right, let's start again.
Right.
I was born in Pakistan.
Okay.
Sometimes we're on the news. And
Good things, I hear.
well, in the 70s, kind of awesome. It was an awesome place, you know. It was very westernized, and I grew up watching The $6 Million Man and Star Trek. So, right.
Yes.
So the actual background, Dad was half British and half Indian. He was born in India because there was no Pakistan. And Mum was Burmese, and we're not 1,000% sure. Some sort of hill person, we'll believe, the other side. And yeah, I lived there for the first 8 years of my life. The Americans, as they do, overthrew the government, got rid of our elected guy, and put the army guy in charge. And it just so happened the army guy, along with very little education and kind of an angry streak, hated my dad. So Daddy left on a business trip to America and never came back to the country. And mom was easy. She could leave because she was a model and she was a movie star. Terrible actress, but she was gorgeous. So she was a Bollywood movie star. So she could get up and leave anywhere she wanted to go. So there was no attention no unwanted attention. And me as an 8-year-old kid, we had a driver. We were very rich. Doesn't matter. We weren't very rich. We were comfortable. And we had a driver take me to the airport. And I only got to stop off at my grandmother's place, my Burmese grandmother. I couldn't say goodbye to her because she was super superstitious. And that was very difficult. And then I left, got on a plane, and I met Mum in Heathrow in England. So I left as a little kid all by myself. But this is back in the day before September 11th. Before that date, which I'm not allowed to mention anymore, you could go as a kid and they give you comic books and you put a little thing on your shirt and it'd be like a captain's thing. And you could go sit on the captain's lap. And then we lived in England for a while, and I came to Canada when I was 9, and I've been here ever since.
So you were mentioning earlier that your mom was a model and actress as well, and singing as well, I think?
No singing. She did a few things well. Drinking was one of them. Lost a bit of her money in the family. That was not, Mom was, I akin Mom's career to that of Elvis's. Wait for it.
Wow. Okay.
But without the singing. So, hold on.
Okay.
Pause for effect. So Elvis was an incredibly shitey actor. He was terrible.
I loved his films.
He was an awful actor, sir. But he was so beautiful as a man. He was so beautiful. He had to be in movies. And not only he had to be in films, he had to be the star of those movies. So Mom was kind of like gorgeous. She might have been the prettiest woman that came out of that country. Not my words. That's in print. And so they had to make her the star of the movie, you know. And the only thing was she was really wooden, right? She was like super stiff. And so she went off to do her movie, and I think she kind of did too. But anyway, there was one famous one where she played the female James Bond way before what's her name did it. Diana Rigg, I think they were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Mom was Jane Bond, 008. And so they had just gotten married, Mom and Dad. And Dad was like, you know what, like maybe don't go away to do movies for weeks. Like his 19-year-old or his 20-year-old gorgeous bride, traveling the world to go do movies. He's like, maybe just stay home, leave for 8 hours and be a model. Maybe just concentrate on the model stuff. And so mom gave up the movie thing and did the modeling, and then became a very successful model. But she also she studied martial arts,
Right.
specifically specifically karate. She was a black belt in karate and jiu-jitsu, and she was a second dan or second degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. And she was champion of all Asia in something they call like point fighting, where you do hit people, you can hurt people. She knocked a fellow out. She had a record for knocking a guy out in a competition that lasted for about a decade, like way after we were in this country. But she won 3 times. She was champion of all Asia 3 times, not in a row. She won, lost, quit, right? And but you can imagine this poor fellow. It's black belt and above, and I think it was 115 pounds or 112, 115 pounds, whatever she was at the time. She goes out, and the guy's going to fight her, and he looks at her, and without makeup, ponytail, she's still a goddamn model. She's gorgeous, right? And the guy's like, how do I win this situation? Do I run away from her and be feel like a chicken, or do I like punch this woman who is gorgeous? And as he was thinking, they started the fight, and the guy just literally, this is what Mom said. He took a breath, and Mom did a roundhouse kick, just one kick, and her heel hit him in the temple. One kick, temple, flat down, whatever that was, 6 seconds, 8, whatever it was a record for about a decade.
So do you think your mom was kind of an influence in you wanting to get into acting, or no?
No, you know what? So many people believe that, and it's so funny. It's just funny, like how stories kind of go, and they make their own stories, and they have children, and then they tell 2 friends, and then they tell. No, Mom showed no interest in me doing any of that stuff whatsoever, and I didn't live in a family that was like super like I can kind of draw a bit, and then like there was never a photo drawing on the fridge. That wasn't a thing. Like
Right.
Parents didn't, the families. Overall, the family was very successful in a very few fields. Like all we shat out were artists and some business people, and that's all the family made. There's like maybe 2 athletes in the family. That's it. And so it doesn't matter that I got a bronze in Edmonton, like for provincials in Taekwondo. That doesn't matter, because when I was growing up, Mom's medals were as tall as me. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter that I was in a TV show that cost X amount of dollars, or I had a few lines in this, because she was a Bollywood movie star, which means when we traveled and she went to the airport, there were people with cameras, and they took her photo, and I was just like, well, that didn't mean, it's Mom. Mom takes photos. I don't know. That means nothing.
You yourself are a bit of an artist as well, when it comes to sketching and
Yeah, I can sketch.
even doing your own little comic strips, if you will, or graphic.
Yeah. I learned the world has changed so much. When I was growing up, you never mentioned comic books, right? You had the one friend, and like he knew about comics, but you didn't mention it in school. You didn't show them like nothing, Like, what are you doing upstairs? Yeah, I'm masturbating.
Yeah.
Don't come in here.
Exactly, right.
Because you don't want anyone to see comic books. But now it's completely different. Like every movie is a goddamn comic book.
Yep.
And, but anyway, so I learned to kind of drawing comic books. And I can't believe in the 30, however many years of drawing and being okay, I have produced one comic book that ever saw the light of anything. And it was a 6-page thing in a magazine. And it wasn't even that good. It wasn't even a great comic. But I made it. Anyway, I am working on some stuff, but generally, free time is always taken up by learning lines, because I'm very bad at learning lines, and if there is free time, it's learn it, right? So
Can actually pause it if you want to grab some of your art, and maybe we can kind of show some of the art that you've done, the sketches, things like that. Or
well, I brought a pad to draw something on, and I actually tried drawing you.
You did
last night.
by memory from
Poorly.
the last time that we were together.
And yeah, well, no, I checked Facebook, so I follow you, socially, and yeah, I did not. You've got a gift of a face, first of all, but I did not capture it in any way, shape, or form. It was so bad. This is just some of the Garry MacLeans I was working on.
I actually recognize. I do for sure. Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
these didn't work at all.